Here we go. Okay. All right, welcome everybody. So as you can probably tell from the screen, what we're looking at right now is the main login for Revival. We released our first client today, and we were just going to walk you through a couple of the houses. So first of all, it's me and Ombois here at the seat, drinking some apple juice, joining some vape, and hope you like the ride. So I guess first of all, I should, walk you through the super complicated main menu here. So you have like three options:
Yeah.
houses, options, and log out.
And log the fuck out.
And as you can probably imagine, options right now are really just, turn down the music, turn up the sound, that kind of stuff. Um, Later on, we'll have full options for the game with keyboard remapping, mouse inversion, all that stuff. In the meantime, though, let's get to the important part, because now you can actually finally see some houses. So the account I'm logged into right now has just some houses on Blackwell, so you can see that's the only server I can log into, the US Gold server. But that's because it's the best server.
It's pretty good.
Let's see. So now you should see there are two properties on this account. The one underneath Omboi's head is a cottage, and the one right next to his is my house. So, well, it's not my house, but it's the account's house. You know what I mean. So why don't we start with the cottage? Alright, so first thing you'll see now is I'm standing in the entrance of the cottage, and I'm actually currently controlling a character we used to call the Marsh Queen. We call her the Wraith these days. She's
I
one
call
of...
her 11s.
Yeah, you do, absolutely, because of the back of her neck right here, her 11s are up. So, she was one of our very first sort of Lovecraftian horrors. She comes from a place called the Dreamlands, and she is the consort of Gurith Naka, the Eater of Dreams.
Yeah.
But for now, she's our test character. So you can see the cottages are actually pretty decently sized. I mean, there's clearly not much to go in them, but you do have some torches for light. I'm kind of lucky. I've actually got like a full suite. I got 4 torches in my cottage here, which is way more
Nice.
than some of the other ones. But yeah, fully lit up. You can kind of see what's going on here with my thatch roof, and I'll be able to place all kinds of furniture in here. So you can see there's no fire pit and there's no fireplace. So in this particular cottage, if I wanted to cook, I'd have to buy a grill of some sort, a brazier, hibachi, whatever. She really is creepy as hell, dude. Look at her face. But yeah, so if I wanted to do stuff like cook, I would have to somehow acquire, either make it myself or buy it from a crafter or buy it from RFO Outfitters, one of the not fire pits but braziers or grills. Similarly, if I wanted to do alchemy or if I wanted to, hammer swords or whatever, I'd have to figure out some way to be able to heat the metal, and so I would need some sort of fire source. Alright, so that's basically this one. Let's move on to the main event. Cool thing about the client is you don't have to log all the way back in. You can go right back to the main menu. Pick a new house. Pop into it. So this house is number 2 Cambric Lane, which is actually featured in one of the stories in one of the books that you guys will get in your bookshelves at some point, I think. That's Tales of Crown's Rock, right?
It is.
So in the story, this house is inherited by a nephew after his uncle dies unexpectedly. And there's a whole story about this house, but I don't want to give anything away. You'll have to read it in your books. So the first floor is basically this main hallway. I'll go back to the entrance so you can see, when you first come in. Right here is one of the upgradable rooms. So here I wouldn't have to worry about somehow finding a fire source. I could buy a forge upgrade or a lab upgrade or any of the a kitchen upgrade, any of the upgrades that have built-ins, and just swap it out into this room and turn this room into a forge or a kitchen or a lab. And in fact, if this were my house, I would probably make this one a forge, um, just because I'm really fond of the blacksmithing game. So as I come down the hall, you can see the stairs up to the second floor, and then there's sort of this great room in the back here. And in the story, this is the room where the main character spends most of his time. Let me light the fireplace here. There's also this cool little, Harry Potter lives here under the stairs section.
Yeah.
At some point, I would buy, I think, something to conceal this space so that I could turn this into a little sort of hidey hole in this little corner right here. Eventually, we're going to allow you to buy false walls and concealed doors so that you could do something like that and seal off the whole room so that only a thief or somebody with really high perception could actually see that there was a hidden space there at all. If you were hiding contraband too, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Alright, so up here at the top of the stairs, you can see there's just one door. And as we come in, this is what, you might call like a master bedroom or a utility room. It's not an upgradable room, but as you can see, it's got the big fireplace and lots of space. I'd probably make this like a library or study. Maybe put a nice comfy chair and a bunch of bookshelves just to store all the books. But, to be fair, I'm a little fond of the lore. So what you're looking at right now is the upgraded version. So this is the low rent version of a house. However, if you buy the house upgrade, all of this wood beam and stuff ends up getting replaced with like wood veneers, and the plaster becomes really nice stucco instead of this moldering stuff. I mean, look at this; it's like literally falling apart here. But yeah, and even things like the treatment on the fireplace or the treatment surrounding the windows change with the house upgrade. It basically changes, all of the materials the house is built with, which greatly increases the value in like the eyes of NPCs and other pieces of the game. So if you were going for a reputation, if you wanted to be a gentleman or a lady of stature, you might want to upgrade your house so that when NPCs visit, they get the impression that you're well off and refined and all of that. So there we go. That's our first client, and that was a cottage and a house. And as you notice, we've been running around and sort of pressing all of the, lighting all of the torches and lighting the fireplaces. That's just an early example of some simple interactivity. In the next revision, where we add props, you'll get the ability to do things like, decorate, move your furniture around, but also, interact with certain things as well. We've mentioned before, throwing darts, throwing dice, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was a very quick run through, and I hope you didn't mind the speed, but I hope you enjoyed this first glance. Talk to you all later.